It's exactly 1 month until France goes to the polls. Presidential candidates have been jostling, of course, for position, with independent Emmanuel Macron and the National Front candidate Marine Le Pen seen going head-to-head in the subsequent runoff in the second round. A survey after the first televised debate, however, placed far-left candidate Jean-Luc Mélenchon as the second most convincing candidate. Joining us now from Paris is Raquel Garrido, advisor to Jean-Luc Mélenchon. Good morning. Thank you very much indeed for taking the time to be with us today here on Bloomberg. Nearly half of French voters say they still haven't made up their minds. What does your candidate need to do to convince them to vote for him?
Good morning. Yes, clearly France has a problem of a low-intensity democracy. One out of 2 Frenchmen does not vote at every election, and that low turnout is actually the characteristic of the current politics in France. So what we're doing with Jean-Luc Mélenchon is addressing people and saying, it's fine if you don't trust politicians. We're not calling upon your trust. We're calling upon your will to reorganize our institutions, or our actual constitution. And our main proposal is to have this constituent assembly to build what we call the 6th Republic, is the next constitution, and where you will have more citizen control over elected officials, including processes like recalls that exist in other countries, but not in France. And in France, we have a bad behavior problem, unethical behaviors from politicians, and that's what we need to address first. And that's why I think Jean-Luc Mélenchon is doing a great job with this campaign, because he's not talking to your usual left-wing people, or even less far left. We're not at all from the far left. That's not what we're doing. We're just here. We're Democrats. We're just starting by that.
Raquel, your candidate did incredibly well in the debates. A lot of people thought he placed second there after Macron, but he's still trailing at a distant 4th in the polls. Why do you think voters aren't going to put him up there in the results after they did in the debate?
Well, polling institutions have got it all wrong in France in all the last elections. So I wouldn't really rely on those information as information. I think Emmanuel Macron is a hype. He's been put up there by the media, by the polling institutions, and actually I think he revealed himself as being a little, underwaged when not underwaged, I mean too young, a little too fresh, in this debate. Whereas Jean-Luc Mélenchon, he's the eldest candidate. He's 65 years old. His political career, is not to be built, is already behind him. So he showed himself to be, more of the philosopher, the very cultivated man that the French people like. And that's one of the solutions to the current situation. The terror attacks, violence, intercommunity hatred, and I think that anxiety calls for peace. And the French people are wanting that, what we call la fraternité, fraternity, that empathy among ourselves to build something new. Right. And Jean-Luc Mélenchon is proposing that, so that not he, holds all power, but gives it to the people so that they use it as they wish.
Raquel, maybe French voters, though, have had enough of the old guard, people who've been active in politics. Maybe they want a young, fresh face. Why not join forces, say, with the socialist Amon and maybe make a run with him?
I think it's up to him, actually. The Socialist Party is in a very bad position because they're actually in power. They're one of the, the reasons why the French people are so disgusted with politics, because these candidates, they've been promising all sorts of stuff when they campaign, and then when they're in government, they do exact contrary. In the case of Hollande, he was supposed to renegotiate the European treaty, what we call the Mercosur Treaty. He did not do that. And a long list of things that he was supposed to do and he didn't do. So when, our strategy is to bring on board all those disgusted. And it's hard to do so with the disgusting, So I think that it would be smart on behalf of Hamon to support Mélenchon, but I'm not calling for, an apparatus agreement, because I think that wouldn't talk to the majority of the French people.
Raquel, in some ways there is a comparison between your candidate and Jeremy Corbyn in the United Kingdom in the kind of base that he attracts. The problem with Jeremy Corbyn is that many people are now arguing that he doesn't represent, or he is not capable of leading a credible opposition. Do you think the comparison with Jeremy Corbyn is fair?
Well, on some aspects, yes, because I think Jeremy Corbyn is talking to the working class and addressing, those issues, very simple issues of wages and what you do, in life when you're jobless and you have health problems, very basic problems that the people have. But the situation in France is different, because with Jean-Luc Mélenchon, we decided to launch this campaign aside from the political parties, including the left political parties. It's a grassroots movement within society that calls for more, ethics in politics and for more citizen control. And that, that signifies a little distance with those very, very well rooted parties from the current political system, including the Socialist Party, which is not what Corbyn is doing, because he's within the Labour Party.
All right, Raquel, thanks so much for joining us. Raquel Garrido, their advisor to French presidential candidate Jean-Luc Mélenchon.